uncomfortable position of trying to avoid someone only because you can't remember their name? Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, you are not the only one. Forgetting someone's name is a common misstep. But there's an explanation why we can often recognize the person's face and even come up with other details, such as where was it that we met and how we met. But the name still remains elusive. The structure of our memory allows us to piece together elements from a past event. Our brain, however, offers only random information. It doesn't create a complete picture like a video recording would do. Vivid and accurate memory is actually a hard trick to pull off for the human brain, because our brain is composed of billions of neurons that perform many jobs simultaneously besides remembering. But don't you worry, because today I will share with you a few tricks that you can implement and likely help you next time you run into someone you know to retain their name and save you from the uncomfortable feeling. So let's start with the first trick, number 1, and possibly the easiest one of all. Be present. Focus on the person you are meeting for the first time. Give them your full attention. Block everyone out for a few minutes. It really makes a difference if the moment they introduce themselves to you, you give them your full attention. Trick number 2, say their name aloud. Once the names are shared, keep eye contact and say their name back to them while you greet them, while you shake their hand, or nowadays as you thumb their elbow in the process of, space distancing. Another thing you can do if you are in a social gathering is to introduce the person to your friends or your colleagues by saying their name aloud, and say it many times. Here's the person that I met right now, John, for example. And that takes me to the third trick, which is repetition. After the first introductions, and while the conversation is still in process, repeat their name again. Even if it's only one more time, this will help your brain to connect with their name, while also the brain accumulates more information about them. And it also helps to repeat the name when you are wrapping up the conversation and when you say goodbye. You can say, for example, nice meeting you, John. Hopefully we'll see each other again soon, but mention the name. Trick number 4. Create a picture. Creating a mental picture of the name can connect it to your mind. And I will give you an example to explain exactly what I mean. Let's say we have the name Michalis. Now in English, the name is Michael. And most often they shorten the name Michael to Mike. Well, when I hear the name Mike, my mind goes to a microphone. Now I have a mental image connected to that name. Another option is to associate the name with maybe a favorite musician like Michalis Hatzigiannis or a famous actor. Be creative. Just make sure that this mental picture that you create has a lasting impression. And last, trick number 5, write it down. With the world changing and with people moving around and going everywhere they want, many times we find ourselves challenged by complex names from unfamiliar cultures. It is acceptable to ask someone to spell their name or write it down. And when they write it down, ask them to also write down their email address. This way, you are communicating that they are important, that you want that information so you can remember it for the next time you meet them. If someone took the time and asked you for your name and your contact information, you would feel important, right? You would feel like you made a meaningful connection. So don't be afraid to do the same for someone else. When I am in a group of people from other countries, I ask them to spell their names. I do, so I can write them in my mind, and then we share a connecting moment. And most times it works, because out of 4 or 5 different names, I remember at least 2, maybe 3. And even if I forget them, it's okay, because I know that at least I tried. So if you're one of those people that stresses too much about forgetting names, don't worry too much, because you can always ask them again. Not everyone will remember your name or who you are. And this can also be a fun way to bond, by sharing all these uncomfortable stories of all the moments we had over the years forgetting names. We are all human. Everyone forgets. You're not alone. Apply these tricks. Be present. Say their name aloud. Repeat. Make a picture. Write the name down. Whatever works for you, pick your trick. Thank you.